Good morning. It's not morning, I know. Hey, hello, welcome. How's it going? We're here another Wednesday, right? Wednesday, 5 p.m. Ready to go. Got some good guests today. I think we already got the requests. I'm going to dig right in. We have a lot to talk about. You guys are in for a treat that I haven't seen in a long time. There he is.
Hey,
Hey,
what's up?
can you hear me?
I can. Can you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you too.
That's
Did,
wonderful. Good to see
did you
you.
did you intentionally wear a green tie and a white shirt?
What? What are you talking about?
um. Anyway, good to see you. You're
Good
in
to
Ann
see you.
Arbor.
I am. This is it's not a green screen. That's real. That's behind me right now.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Are you in the same office as you've been?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
So,
good spot, right?
is it? I
For
mean, I feel like after 20 years,
has it been 20? Yeah.
perhaps it's showing a lack of progress, but
Remember your first office in the basement of Starbucks?
that was our warehouse. That wasn't even our
Oh, okay,
office.
right,
That was a
okay.
warehouse. Although we did briefly have an office on Fifth, like 3 blocks that way.
Okay.
That you and like Joe, Rob, and Zubin would be probably the only people that
Starbucks
I still
us.
talk to that have seen it because we were only there for like a year.
Right.
We moved out in 2004, so into
That was
this
a long time
place.
ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So
I was like,
we're
I hope Andrew doesn't ask me too many questions about back then because
I'm going to, but
I think Kaz probably has collected more good info. Like he probably has all that like
a good memory of
actually
it.
documented on Hidden in the Sand, and it's amazing. And I'll have to dig.
Yeah, definitely. So for those of you that don't know Al, Al is essential to the formation of Tally Hall and was an early player in the game. So I was thinking maybe you start off by telling how you met us, um, which is a fun story in and of itself.
Yeah. And let's see if I get it right. This is one of those things like there
Uh,
was so many. I was thinking about this, and we can talk about this in a bit too, but like, so I met Joe first, I believe, through Jeff Jenkins, who was working at the time Quack Media.
mhm.
We were making like low budget educational videos for like Spanish class, and like we were children, tiny baby children, just like cutting together old movie clips, dubbing over them, making stupid. We were shooting sketches on like they were always awkwardly close because we couldn't pull the camera back too far or you'd see like the ceiling and the floor in the shot, and it was just super low budget, just us goofing around basically and selling these videos. And so Joe came in to help us with that, I think, and then he basically said, hey, I'm in this band, do you want to come check us out after work, kind of thing. And Jeff and I and maybe Matt Rundell went down there to, I want to say, the Heidelberg. This was the Heidelberg upstairs.
Mhm.
Probably pre-Ross, I'm assuming.
Definitely.
And that's when I met the rest of you, and I loved it. And I was like, hey, I like music. We should probably do something with this. And I think that's kind of. And then Joe and Rob and Zubin started working with us too a lot, doing video stuff.
And I remember I didn't know you at first, and I lived with Joe and Rob, and they would go to be like, "Oh, we're doing these Spanish videos for this guy." And it was
Yeah,
so ridiculous. Every video was ridiculous.
yeah.
Um, and
They're like I. So this is where I was looking back at like that crew that was in Ann Arbor in that tiny. This was our old office. Again, we were only there for a year. The amount of talent that was like circling around that one little tiny hole in the wall in the middle of the Midwest with you guys. It was you guys and Andrew Lorich was there and Jeff
mhm.
Jenkins and like all these people that have gone on to do super cool, brilliant stuff. And everybody was just like dicking around in this, like, the office was literally in the piece of another office that was like only accessible by a stairwell that like nobody else wanted. You had to like go in the like service door basically to get to this this studio. But yeah, I
So
mean, I think everybody you were in there too. I think by the end you had come in a couple times to do
I,
some
I
stuff with
don't
us,
I don't
but
think I did. You never invited me.
uh,
Um, no, it's okay. I was gonna say just how you got into this random video thing. Basically, you grew up in a household where your father provides educational material. You saw
yeah.
a hole in what you needed, and you went for it. Essentially, right?
I wish it was that smart. He actually made me. I was riding bikes for a living, and then I got sick, and so I couldn't ride anymore. And he was like, "Well, hey, I made one in like college or something that was that sold really well." And so he was like, "Hey, can you make me more of these?" And I was finally just like, I literally didn't have anything else to do because I couldn't ride bikes for like a year. So yeah, that's kind
Okay,
of how
that's
it
it.
started. Yeah,
Okay,
it was
so
not
fast
my
forward.
idea. I just did it.
Well, you did a good job.
Yeah, we honestly like they're unwatchable now. Like I can't watch them, but they're definitely like there was some great stuff that came out of it. And like I said, Rob and Joe and Zubin and Lorich and Jenkins all improving songs on the spot over old movie clips to try
Yeah.
to teach Spanish. It's
They're
bananas.
still on like YouTube and stuff, right? I feel like
Probably, yeah.
they're gonna
Oddly,
hate
like
that we're like telling them.
I know to this day, like I am embarrassed by them now. They are 20 years old, right? And I was 20 years younger when we made them. That's like
Mm-hmm.
I thought of you guys as being so young when we were doing that, but you were only like 2 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the
Yeah,
time, it was like I was 23 and you guys were 20 or something or 21.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that stuff was. But I mean, there's some good bits. There were some good bits.
Definitely. There's some
Some
great
good
bits.
bits.
So fast forward, see us at Heidelberg, become friends. Uh, I guess you saw it from your perspective because
Oh, well,
might be more
I'm
correct.
interested in yours too. Uh, I'd always kind of had this idea that that the company would have like a label attached to it because I felt like we needed good music. Like we were putting so much music in these videos, and they were for high school. Like it just made sense to have good music, and so we were licensing stuff from. We had a Get Up Kids song in our videos that we had
Mm-hmm.
licensed and stuff like that. So we were trying to do things a little bit different, but then yeah, we thought, hey, let's work with this band. I mean, we're friends. Half of them work here, so let's just release a record. And then we kind of started with that. Yeah, it was like
And
the first thing we did. Yeah,
I remember the day I think the day after graduation or something, we started recording, or we signed our deal with you.
yeah, which was I think 1 page long of
And yeah, but it
yeah,
was I think I, if I remember correctly, the budget was like 7 grand, and we were gonna do it in 1 week at a studio in town. And
yeah,
it started dragging on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you were like pulling your hair out, and we were like, "Oh, we
yeah. I
gotta
mean,
do it
like
properly."
that's still a lot of money to me, but at the time it
Yeah,
was like, oh, I mean, I was out of money. I think we got up to like 25 or 30K by the end, and I was like, I can't handle it. And I
and we were
remember you
like, "It's gonna
guys,
be okay. We're gonna be okay."
yeah, you guys played a great joke. After we had basically like started the album over like twice, I think. There was a lot of redoing things. And I was out of town or something, and you guys called me and were like, we have to start over. Because you had actually finished it. I think there's video of this somewhere.
Yeah, someone brought it up in questions. Sorry,
Okay.
Al.
That's real. So yeah, that is 100% real. I had no idea. It was not staged. And I was at the point though, when you get so like you get so bummed out that like it just doesn't matter anymore. So
Mm.
it's like I didn't have quite the extreme reaction because I was just like, whatever. I was like beyond being shocked at that
You're
point.
just basically burning money into a big
Yeah.
fire
Well,
at
at
that
that
point.
point, I mean, like you guys knew what you were doing, but I
Not
10
really.
revisions prior, I was like, this sounds the same to me. Like it's so far over my head musically that I was just like, I don't know what you're changing at this point.
I
Why
mean,
are we doing this again?
I
Um,
remember nights like where it was like maybe 1 or 2 a.m. and Joe's putting the storm sounds into Spring in a Storm, and it was I'm just remembering this, but I was like, Joe, just like let's just be done with this. It's enough. Like we're like 3 hours into this, and you might or might not have been there, but I just remember there were moments like that where you were so frustrated, and internally we were frustrated. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was the right decision.
Yeah, and it came out, like I said, it came out great, and it was so far over my head at that point. I'm like, I was confident that you guys were making it better, but I had no idea. I was like, sure, the trombones need to be a little higher here. Let's spend 6 hours on it.
So then I think the next piece of the puzzle is you were responsible for our press, our publicity, our management, our booking. You're like, okay, so if you start a label and you don't have a foundation or any like industry like support or something, you have to do everything by yourself. And so you were 23 and you're like, crap, what do I do next? But you had a plan. I remember you had these grandiose plans.
I guess I don't remember them, but
I should have pulled it up in my email.
Oh wow, you have those. Don't, goodness.
I do. I
no reading emails from when I was 20. So I don't. But yeah, I think this, what I remember though is being, because this has served me for years afterwards, which is knowing so little about the way things are done that you try things that are insane and crazy because you don't know that they're crazy, right? Like you said, those plans were grandiose, but I had no idea. I just thought, I was like, I don't know that you don't do this, right? So, I mean, I do remember, the one thing that I remember was we really wanted to get you guys touring with They Might Be Giants or OK Go, because that was like, for your sound, it was like the only bands I could imagine you fitting with because you were so different from everybody else. And so I just started like cold calling Hornblow Group because they managed both those bands, and I was cold calling them like every week, like just hey, can I talk to you? Hey, can I talk to you? Hey, I got a band. Hey, I got a band. I wrote them letters. I called them, and I didn't realize that this is like not the way you do that. Like I just didn't know any better. So people are like, do this. Yeah, like, do this brilliant. I'm like, I just literally didn't have any concept that they weren't going to eventually call me back. I was like, oh, they're just busy.
Yeah,
they will call me. So then, and this is one of those stories that I'm sure everyone's heard a million times, right? Like the Jimmy Kitman story.
I don't know. I mean,
I think it's on, it's probably well documented. So this was like, I'd been calling them for about 2 months at this point, and the album wasn't done yet, but we had just gotten the like first 4 like promo tracks done, and I had them on a promo disc at the office, and we had never, like, that was the first day we had tracks, and I don't remember whether it was to celebrate or not. Anyway, we used to do a Thursday night like movie night at the office, and we were all up here, the band and like all the staff were up here watching A Clockwork Orange, of all things, in the office. And eventually I'm like, I'm bored. I'm going to go down. There's a bar like in the alley called Alley Bar that my friend was managing at the time. My roommate was managing at the time. So I went down there to go just like have a beer, and everybody else was up here. And I just started hanging out with this guy, chatting with this random dude that I had never seen or met. And we hung out for about an hour or so, like drinking late night, like in a bar. And eventually, I don't know, I forget how the conversation got here, but it wasn't pitching at all because I had no idea who he was. And we just started talking about what we did for a living. And he's like, oh, I manage bands. And I was like, oh yeah? What bands? And I'm thinking like, well, you manage bands. Who's this guy? And he says, They Might Be Giants and OK Go. And this sounds 100% made up. It is not. This is absolutely real. I just walked down after cold calling them. They're in New York. Their office is in New York for months, and them not calling me back. I walked to my roommate's bar behind our office on a movie night with the band and just started hanging out with him randomly. Of 200 people, like the number of coincidences, like there's 200 other people down there that I could have talked to, but I talked to him. And so then I had just given my roommate that promo CD like earlier that day. And the minute he said that, I was like, Andy, put that disc on. And then he ended up coming up here, I think, after that, right? And you guys a few of you were still here. I think he came up here that night,
or, I don't know,
but it was like 3 in the morning. It was super late. Yeah, so that's
history.
The most insane. Although I should say that's happened, like, not that specific thing, but I learned later that, like, for you guys especially, like, that stuff happened kind of all the time. We got used to things like that happening, where you're just like
serendipitous coincidences. Yeah, totally. So you introduced the first management. You booked our first tour, which was I remember it was insane in Canada.
It was insane in Canada.
Yeah, Mod Club was the first. I feel like that was the first stop. Giant Club, not like no one there, but it was fun. We were like, oh well, no one showed up.
Yeah.
And then we wound up in Rochester at a really late night, and it was a really fun show. And we had to drive back immediately after the show to Ann Arbor to play like the art festival. And I remember we got there right
like as it was starting
before the show.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I also remember the drive to the place to stay that night afterwards. Was insane. We got a ride home with somebody who should not be driving, and it was the most terrifying moments of my life, and we'll never do it again.
I don't
chaos. Because we were still, we were like crashing on couches, and like there's no hotels, right? It was no budget, right? So it was like hitching rides after the shows, crashing on whoever's couches were available, like whoever's going to host for the evening, which wasn't always, sometimes was like arranged loosely ahead of time, but usually was just like, hey, who has a couch, right? And it was
they don't tell you that that's like the next like few years of your life as a band, sleeping on couches, eating what you can, and almost dying every night from some random thing. So many accidents, but okay, so running out of time, what else do we need to touch on? So basically you helped us develop, you hooked us up. Jamie started matching us, found a booking agent. I think through Jamie, maybe it was a coincidence. I can't really remember exactly.
Eric, I don't remember. I think this was another one of those weird coincidences, not quite as extreme as the Jamie one, but I feel like it was similar. Like we had something else going on, and it was one of these two. I know it was, 'cause I remember telling the story, but I don't remember the story. But it was weird. It was a weird thing.
And then from there, it was just a lot of work, essentially. And eventually we were approached by Atlantic, and you graciously handed over the reins to them. And from there, we left them, and you graciously took us back.
Came back, And I think that, like, it was fun, when you asked me to do this, just thinking about that time again, and like how much just good stuff came out of just kind of being chill about everything. And everyone, not just me, but like you guys and everybody we worked with was just Jamie and Eric. Like everybody was just kind of like, we like what you're doing, and sure, why not? We'll figure it out. And I don't know that it was always the best financial decision, but it always ended positively. It always progressed things and like moved things along. It
was always about relationships. In the corporate world, that's not the case. But when you're dealing on a smaller scale, you have to have those relationships in order to get anywhere. So the last thing we did with you pressed Good and Evil vinyl, and the next person people are having on are reprinting. They've reprinted Marvin's, and they're going to be reprinting Good and Evil. So it's kind of a weird full circle thing. I was like, this is a perfect pairing.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
So so a couple questions that people asked are, did you get involved with any other bands at the time or currently as a label?
Currently, no. We haven't done any like label activity in probably 5 or so years since Zach left. I think that was 2012. How long ago was 2012? 10 years ago?
Yeah, like 20 years ago.
Maybe 2015. No, because we did that we did Good and Evil in 20. Anyway, 2015-ish was the last thing we did. But yeah, for a while we had a ton of bands. We worked with Great Lakes Myth Society, I think was the second one we worked with.
They're great.
And then The Hard Lessons were a big one that we did
Hmm.
for a while. And a bunch of like small side projects from other bands. Vanderveer
Hmm.
was one of the later ones. I'm gonna be Secret Twins were awesome. We love Secret Twins.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna be so offended if I don't list them right now, but I do remember you. LD, that was a great record. Lauren and LD. Um, but everyone just keep in mind that I'm over 40 and it was a long time ago. And if I think about it for more than 8 seconds, I will remember you.
And currently, your focus is more on you basically have an ad agency.
Yeah, yeah. And so that kind of happened in 2008. If you guys remember, we all those decisions that were not financially good decisions, but were fun, kind of had to take a side seat for a
Hmm.
second, as we tried to pay the bills.
They paid for us to lose your money.
Yeah. So
It was good.
yeah, so we started doing ads then, and that's kind of turned into sort of what pays the bills around here. But we've also do TV, um, make some cartoons and stuff like
Right, you
that.
did
So
Adult Swim stuff.
yeah, yeah, and we're
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah.
kind of writing on that
Very cool.
and working on it. But that stuff, like you write on it for years and years and years, and it just never sees the light of day. So
Anything before I let you go that you want people should check out?
people should check out Tally Hall represses on
From you. That's
Needle
boring.
Records. What it's
Needlejuice.
Needlejuice.
Yeah.
Check those out. That's great. And from me, I don't know if you like bike racing. We do a lot of that lately.
Really?
Yeah. Back to the original sport. No, I don't have anything to pitch or promo really, other than
Work on it, man.
it's awesome to hang out with you guys and watch what you guys are up to because I think, especially like I said, all the Tally Hall guys are doing super creative, cool stuff right now. And Lorich and like I said, that whole like orbit around that time and place that only lasted a year, just spawned an amazing amount of folks who are doing just weird, interesting, good stuff. And some of them have
Yep.
been very successful at it, so it's cool.
It's cool to see it was a good time, a good place.
Yeah,
Well, I'll come visit you sometime in the next couple of years, hopefully.
yeah, we're here.
And
We even have
and
like a guest room and stuff now, so
amazing.
yeah. Although we also have
Well,
a tiny child, so there's that too. You
yeah,
have to handle
that's
the
kind of fun.
babies.
It's always fun to be around a tiny child for like only a couple of days. And you're
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Cool.
okay, good to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.
So okay, I'm gonna try to transition now.
How do I don't know how to turn
To
mine off, so that
okay,
just
well, you're here until you turn it off. Just don't. Okay, there we go. Um, so now, Needlejuice, hopefully, can you please request to join, and we will speak to them. Um, all right. I have so two of the guys in Needlejuice currently are not in the same room. So two of the guys have new Instagrams that I think they were creating for this. And Jace should be on the official Needlejuice account. Hopefully we can get him in. If not, then we'll see. Let me just request to join. Join. Okay. Let me see if there's any questions I can answer in the meantime. Why someone keeps asking about Furbies? I like Furbies. They're cool. Are they relevant again? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. Um, what was I gonna say? Okay, so a lot of people have asked, "Where's my vinyl?" And the answer, while they're not here, is they vinyl is delayed like a year at this point, and it has nothing to do with Needlejuice. It just has to do with the pandemic and production. Most vinyl is produced overseas, and there's very few factories, so there's a huge backup. Okay, we got Needlejuice. Good. I don't want to explain this because I'm gonna say something wrong. Here we go. Jace, join us, please. Hope this works. Um, it sounds like he's here. Yes. How
Hello?
are you? How are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you
Good.
hear me? Okay.
I told the
Cool.
other guys to do the thing.
Okay. I'll just be on the lookout for them.
Yeah.
And so good to see you. You are in Nashville, Tennessee at the
I am
moment, correct?
same place as
Okay.
you.
Yeah. We haven't known each other that long. We started talking at the start of. Okay, Brandon is here. We started talking at the during maybe was it during the pandemic or something. Um, we were basically, hey,
Well,
we were looking to um, I guess we had gotten a lot of inquiries about repressing our vinyl, and we get them for years, and we had a couple that caught my eye, and one was from you guys, and you seemed I looked into it, and it seemed like you actually cared and were passionate. It wasn't some big company going for a money grab. Um, so we started talking, and it just made sense to give it a shot. And from that, we've started with Marvin's Marvelous Mechanic Museum because there was a lot of demand for it, and we knew you guys would kill it. And so far, it's been great. Like I feel like I haven't seen the actual vinyl, but everything else I've seen has looked really great. And
Yeah. I need to meet up with you soon so I can give you your copies.
yeah, but it's sold well. People are enjoying it. It sounds good. You commissioned new artwork from Court Jones, who is the original cover artist, which is really dope. And I personally haven't spoken to Court in years. I don't know if the other guys have. But regardless, it was really cool that he was like on board to resurrect the whole thing. Um,
Seeing the gatefold like in my hands was one of the coolest Needlejuice experiences I've had so far. Like it's one thing to like look at the image on the computer and put it in the PSD and send it along, but to actually like see it printed out like that was awe-inspiring. Like you could stare
yeah,
at it for hours.
Like spend a whole afternoon just like looking at all the little things in here. There's a lot of like little inside jokes and all these like little Tally Hall references from all across Tally Hall lore just into this thing.
yeah. Court is such a detail-oriented artist,
Yeah.
and I think I want to say Joe found him back in the day, and um, we were lucky he was up for it, and basically he did it for not a lot of money, in hopes that like if we ever made any money, we would pay him properly, and then we did, and he got paid properly, and everybody's happy, and the artwork's now been seen by a lot of people, and it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Back on
Um,
too.
and that's really cool too. Yeah, I don't that wasn't Court, was it Court?
Signed
Well,
by
the art is by Court, but the
Yeah,
design was Austin's, and he is struggling to figure out Instagram right now because he's never used it before.
okay,
But
I
he
got
should be
another
with us in a
request.
moment.
There he is.
Oh,
Okay, we got him. So
got
I was
awesome.
thinking maybe we start off. Can you guys talk a little bit about how Needlejuice formed and how you guys met each other? I know the story, but I don't know if people do.
Yeah, so
There's
Austin.
Austin.
Yeah, there's Austin.
Pointing at my computer.
Yeah.
Austin, you're in front of 96 people, so FYI.
I'm so glad to look like such an old man in front of so many people.
You gotta flip to your forward camera, the other camera.
We can just stare at your typewriter.
Yeah.
If
This
it
is my
helps, Austin,
screen.
if it helps, Austin, I thought I was going to be the one to mess this up. So
Well, I'm embarrassed to be like instant gram. A gram of what? What possibly? This isn't for illicit purposes, is it?
Colorado, where you
I
are.
would figure out how to do that. I don't even know how to put it on my computer.
Yeah, you'll be looking at yourselves until I figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start off. Jace, you want to start off? Just talk about Needlejuice.
Yeah. So basically, the story goes, Austin and I are both musicians who make similar music, and our music fits within this realm of what some people might call quirky internet music. And Brandon, who I've known since I was like 12 years old, one day basically said like, hey, you and Austin form a record label because you both like make similar music, and maybe you can make a platform for your own stuff as well as other stuff that's similar to what you do. And months went by after Brandon said that without it happening. But then one day Austin messaged me and was like, hey, I really want a vinyl record of Goodbye My 4-Track by Logan Whitehurst and the Junior Science Club. Really great album. He said, I really want this on vinyl, and I feel like the only way it's going to happen is if I do it myself. And then I said, what a coincidence. You know what I really want on vinyl? Spirit Phone by Lemon Demon. And so then we both were kind of like, okay, how about we join forces to do exactly what Brandon said?
And from there, I guess it's history. How do you start a record label then? What's the next step?
Oh man. Well, first an Australian band called King Gizzard has to put an album into the public domain, and so we were going to kind of start the label with the Logan Whitehurst album, and
we also signed the Most Unwanted song, or Austin signed it.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by so with these artists, you basically just like cold emailed them and said, hey.
Logan Whitehurst is no longer living, and so we had to contact his family to get their permission to do it. But basically, we accrued 2 albums at the very start, which was the Logan album and the Most Unwanted song. And so we were like, okay, great, we have 2 albums to release. Let's make this happen. And I think the plan was always to like crowdfund the Logan record. But we ended up launching early because by sheer coincidence, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard put their album Polygon Wonderland into the public domain. And they were just randomly like, hey, we have this new album. Anybody can press it. So we launched early. We already had our website infrastructure like set up and everything and like ready to go. And so we put up a pre-order for the King Gizzard album just to see what would happen. And
we were one of the first to jump on it.
Yeah, we were. There were like 2 or 3 other labels that jumped on it the same day, but yeah.
Well, and we sold it for dirt cheap.
We did.
That probably helped us.
We were the absolute like way to get it.
We found the mock-up on Google Images.
We found it on Google.
Yeah.
So okay. Wow. That is really unusual for a band to do, right? Like, I haven't heard of a band being like, you can just take it and make vinyl if you want.
Done it with like 10 albums. It's like
it's a pretty genius idea though, because it takes a lot of work out from them, and gives fans an excited like investment in the product.
Yeah. It's kind of like.
Well, that was the 4th album of 5 albums they released that year, so they could throw some stuff at the wall.
Yeah,
that's wild. Do they do? I have to admit, I have listened to them a little bit, but not really. Do they? They're kind of a more jammy band. Like, they're not in the studio spending months on an album. They're just kind of like creating
stuff. They're insanely prolific. They are. You could kind of like maybe put them in the realm of like jam band kind of stuff, but their songs are very structured.
It's not as their stuff isn't as like disposable as maybe it would appear when you have like 20 albums come out in the span of 6 months.
Yeah.
It is rather considered.
So from there, Lemon. From what I understand, Lemon Demon that became successful for you guys, and then from there, you were able to press Lemon Demon's Spirit Phone, which has a giant cult following that's built up enormously over the years.
It's gotten just more popular over the years. Like when we first put it out, I don't think it was nearly as popular as it is now.
Well, it just showed up in an episode of Nancy Drew.
Yeah,
that was surreal.
That was weird.
I guess he has had a similar career trajectory to us. I think
he did.
That, it was because I've heard the name for literally most of our career, we like there would always be like one person that like at shows. I learned about a lot of music from our fans who would come to shows and be like, "Oh, I heard about you from." One good example is the band Jellyfish, who I love.
Mhm.
But I remember being in Cleveland and a couple of older guys came up to me and I was like, "Oh, we heard about you on the Jellyfish forum," and I was like, "Who is Jellyfish?" And little did I know they would become an important band in my development and band that I liked. But same with Lemon Demon. Like people would come up once in a while and be like more than once and be like, "Hey, have you heard this? This guy's really cool. You should check him out." And I didn't for years, but the name stuck with me, and now it's like he's got a whole thing going on.
Like his fan base is pretty synonymous with yours, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So from there, you released that, and then from there, it just started becoming an obsession that kept piling on. Is that a good way to put it?
yeah, like, well, we call it the Lemon Demon algorithm. We like look through every like similar artist under Lemon Demon, and we like start asking like everyone who's like when you go down the Spotify rabbit hole, like similar artists, like all of these like things that people who listen to Lemon Demon listen to. Yeah.
We also try, like, we run a Discord server, and we have a Press This channel where people suggest things that we should, like, consider pressing.
And you guys are always on the Discord checking out recommendations, listening to music, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So how many records have you pressed at this point?
Oh man, it's like I feel like over 40 at this point. I mean, just vinyl specifically.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of stuff that's like in the queue to be pressed that just because of the supply chain issues just is waiting.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that we have like only on like CD or tape or something. We have 80 individual releases, but maybe like 40 to 50 of those got vinyl, maybe.
So I got a lot of questions like, "Where's my vinyl?" And the reason like they're on it, even if you got like a queued for shipment thing, like it's not like as soon as Needlejuice gets it, they're sending it out. It's just we're just taking time.
It's just gonna take a while to get like I printed off like literally like hundreds of these shipping labels, and they're all in like a big stack, and I'm just like doing them
one by one.
Yeah,
it's a small operation, and there's a lot of volume. So it's pretty awesome though that you're able to do this and it's successful and growing because
we feel immensely privileged that we kind of have this platform. You know, there's a lot of hard work that went into it, but also a lot of luck and being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, totally. Like, how do you? So I know, but you guys basically found us through that same thing, like the fans of Lemon Demon, also like Valley Hall.
In the Discord, well, it's not just in the Discord, but we kept getting messages, just like
like on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, just like on Twitter, people would just like mention us and be like, "Press Tally Hall, press Tally Hall." And so I had like heard of you guys back when I was like, I've been a Lemon Demon fan since like 2006, Ultimate Showdown days, and I knew that you guys were popular among that group of people back then, but I didn't like actively pay attention to Tally Hall very much, and kind of forgot about the existence of Tally Hall after Good and Evil came out, and then there was like the hiatus, and I just kind of like I didn't really know much about the whole Tally Hall thing. But then as soon as we put out Spiritphone, it was basically immediately, like people started saying like, you should press Tally Hall, you should press Tally Hall. I want to say like early like 2020, we started talking. I sent you an email and then it got trapped in my spam folder. So I didn't even realize you responded to me.
I didn't know that.
I might have responded and then like not. Like it might have been another 6 months or something. I'd be like, I might have been. I feel like I might have been like, yeah, we'll think about it. And then like months went by.
Jace picks strange times to play hard to get.
Yeah. I mean, I I heard Marvin's back in the day. I heard it when it first came out. Like it was like the old mix, the original like 2006 mix. And I remember hearing Banana Man. I remember hearing Banana Man and thinking like, oh, that's cute.
You know, I had never heard of Tally Hall like back when pre-hiatus, and I think that's a real shame because like I was the weird flaming lips kid in high school, and I would have been all about Tally Hall.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, lucky. Fortunately, like nowadays, it's a different thing. But when we were really fighting for like people to like listen to our music, we would go out on campus and just like literally just hand people CDs and be like,
Wow.
here, listen to our music, listen to it. I think Joe and Rob might have just like played with an acoustic guitar in a center of campus. We tried like a lot of things. It took a long time, and it's really hard for like a weird indie band. I feel like it's a little different these days just because you have more resources and it's easier for people to find things. Like you said, you guys have a Discord, which didn't exist at the time, and you can easily
stuff that's just like going on now that was made like a long time ago.
Well, yeah, it's like I like at the time you probably didn't like realize it because there were no like words or methodologies for things to, you know, design things to go viral on the internet. But you had built an entire funnel that draws people into Tally Hall algorithmically, and there was no algorithm to take advantage of it.
Yeah. There was all this YouTube content you guys had up that was just waiting to be caught by the algorithm, and then it did. It's like as soon as you watch one Tally Hall video, then you fall down a rabbit hole of just like all of the internet content you guys put out back in the day.
And then like look at what happened with Ruler of Everything and how that just became a meme out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like once the momentum starts, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
We left enough there that 10 years later, maybe it will pick up.
Yeah.
That's what happened, I guess. So that's cool. Let's fast forward.
It used to be 10 years of effort for an overnight success, but now it's just 10 years of an old YouTube video being up.
Exactly. It's a whole new model. So if we start kids at like 8, maybe like put out their first record at 8 years old or something, then by the time they're ready to actually like do it, they might have success.
Speaking as someone who is making stuff around that age, I don't wish for it to have been out into public.
Yeah, I don't think anyone under 10 is like, yeah. I do have this really cool record. I don't know if you guys know Nika Costa, but she had a hit, I want to say in the 2000s, and just a great singer. But I was in a record store and just browsing through, and her dad was a famous arranger and did an album with her and I found it on vinyl, and it's like her as like maybe like a 12-year-old singing these with an jazz band. It's crazy. Anyway, that's an aside. So we let's fast forward. Marvin's is out. First shipment's out. Second shipment's on its way. You're gonna
being manufactured. So the first wave is here. The second wave will be the pressing plant finished it like a few days ago. So it's just waiting for it.
And so that's awesome, actually. And from there, what made you decide to do different editions? How do you guys come up with your design?
Oh yeah. We're just obsessed.
Just fun.
We're like there's so many cool things that pressing plants can do now with color. Like when I first got into vinyl back in like 2008, it was like you had colored vinyl, but you didn't have like the variants you get now. Like you would have solid colors. You'd maybe have a marble pressing, but like now you can do these wacky things with all these different color configurations. And so we try to match up the themes of the album and the lyrical content and the artwork. And we kind of try to make all these different color versions that fit with the artistic vibes of the album. And we can kind of come up with them infinitely. So, we just, we try to, it's fun.
Fingers crossed.
And that's all in-house. That's like the three of you bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. Though I don't like the check that he's cashing of the term infinite.
Well, you got to figure in like the next 5 years there might be a whole revolution in what you can do with vinyl.
That'd be
Right.
awesome.
But
I-
like our pressing plant keeps adding colors. So I mean, like,
Really?
yeah,
Mhm.
they used to have 20, and then they bumped it up to like 26, and now they have like 32. So
They even have translucent black now. That's crazy.
they even have translucent black, but they still don't have
Nice.
translucent pink. I want translucent pink.
One day.
It's a weird admission that they don't have that. There's
Yeah.
so many records where that would be
I keep
perfect.
telling our guy at the plant that, like, you guys really need translucent pink. Come on.
I
And
don't
we
see
know
why
they
wouldn't
can
be able
do
to
it because they did it for the Steven Universe
They did it
soundtrack.
for the Steven Universe soundtrack. They did. Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, second wave's coming. I just sent over some good and evil stuff, so hopefully we can get that going in the next
Yeah. You sent along some
sometimes.
extremely detailed files. They are just
Yeah.
So there was someone asked this, and I'll just bring it up. But with Marvin's, you would think we had the masters and we had all the artwork and stuff, but the reality is, it was a different time and people just didn't save stuff. Like people didn't put in hard drives and stuff. So, the only reason you have the original art is because our friend Ryan Brady, who worked at Atlantic, was kind enough to dig it up for us, and we dedicated the record to him because a couple of weeks after he sent it, actually, he passed away in a tragic accident. So we dedicated this pressing to him, and it's the only reason the record looks like it does. And the masters we had for that, we do have instrumentals that we were talking about. I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's possible it'll come out. And then for Good and Evil, the reason I have the artwork for that is actually Al, who was just on. I asked him about it as like a last hope, and he dug up all these hard drives and he found it. So we have all those recordings, we have all those masters, we have the stems, and you guys have like so many files. I was overwhelmed by it.
That's Good and Evil. It's insane.
But that was done a little later, so people save stuff, and it was also done with a much bigger budget, so everything was much more valuable, I guess, to the label.
Yeah.
And
It's really good to have all those individual files to be able to actually go in there and tinker with things.
yeah,
Sometimes we've had to like recreate things from scratch, and it's we're working on Lemon Demon's Dinosaur Orchestra right now, and it's a pain in the ass because the files like Neil doesn't have any of the like the files don't date far back enough that you can actually like mess with them adequately. So that's the whole thing we're dealing with.
yeah. So yeah, and man, we're trying to do some extras for that, working on that. That's the next thing that we're like, you guys and us are working on. People asked about other pressings of stuff related to Tally Hall. There's no plans at the moment. That could change. We'll see as it goes. And also, like we started talking about T-shirts and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time for us, and hopefully we can get that out.
Put the Court Jones gatefold on like a nice poster. I think that.
Yeah, I need to follow up with Court about that.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So
I don't care how old it makes me feel that we're now this far into the internet age that we can like have a moment like when I was a kid and like read about how Star Trek they'd like taped over the master of a Star Trek episode, and now we're so far in that we can look back and be like, well, we just didn't know back in 2005.
Yeah, it's not that long ago. That's the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
Like one of the other like banes of our existence is like trying to get albums that came out in the early days of the internet, because so many artists didn't save their stuff as WAV files. So
Yeah.
like, oh, you saved it as MP3? Oh no.
It was mp3.com, Jace.
Yeah.
What else were they supposed to do?
MP3.com.
So
they encourage that.
I will say a lot of the earliest Tally Hall stuff, we didn't know any better, and we like complete demos or something, and there are no stems that exist because they were deleted to make more space.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
We're like, why would
Hard
we do
drives are
this?
expensive.
That hurts my soul.
Nowadays, you're like, oh man, that's like you get a hard drive for $5 and keep it. or for free. You can just upload it for free to like several services.
Yeah.
But it's just a different time. It's really crazy. So I guess what do you guys have coming up in the future?
Oh, yeah. We can talk about what we have coming up in the future. Let's see. Well, we talked about Good and Evil. We're doing that, obviously.
Oh, well, we just released the remix of the Scary Jokes April Fools.
Yes.
The album originally came out in 2016, and we had Angel Mark Lloyd, who's an amazing producer, completely remix it for the physical releases, and it sounds amazing. And that literally just showed up on Spotify this week. So check it out, give it a stream. Stuff that we have coming up in 2022. Well, so actually, our one of our administrators of our Discord server has an album coming out next month. We're going to do a CD tape of it. Icosahedron, World Wild Web. If you like early Lemon Demon, you will enjoy this record. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds kind of like Damn Skip.
It is a lot like Damn Skippy.
Yeah.
We have Stephen Lynch. We are pressing his most recent album, My Old Heart. That's Austin's passion project, and that's going to happen next year. We have a few albums by Seth Bergolzia, who is like an anti-folk legend from New York City's anti-folk scene. That's kind of my passion project.
Yeah.
Jace, what do you have coming?
What's your passion project?
What is my passion project?
Well, you got the new Flummox.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
the new Flummox album. Flummox is a band here from Nashville. They're like a progressive metal, humorous band that dresses up like possums on stage and does all sorts of wacky stuff. They're kind of like Mr. Bungle. And they have a few releases on our label already. You also should check them out. Very, very funny, very heavy, very gay. And they have a new album coming out called Reflummoxed, and we're going to be putting that out in like February, I think.
Yes, early February.
Yeah. We are also working on, let's see, there's the new Mega Ran album, Live 95, nerdcore hip hop, and he's got some new music videos for some of his songs on that, so you should check those out. We also literally just got the files yesterday for Birds by Brian Scary.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know him. Yeah, I know. It's been around.
Yeah. Also, the Orion Experience.
Yep.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are in production.
We're in production, yeah. We're doing Cosmic Candy and Children of the Stars by the Orion Experience. The records are being pressed.
Yep.
And
those should go up in like April.
Yeah, some of y'all might know that we're working with Billy Cobb. We just put up pre-orders for the SS Krill and Bear album by him. He's the Zerwi guy, for those who might not know. We are going to be doing some more stuff from his catalog sometime next year. Probably Halloween 4, Strokes of Incarceration. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool to see you guys found a small pocket of weirdo musicians, I'd say, that have extreme fan bases that are craving these reissues and stuff, and you're able to cater to that audience, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What is like a goal? What's it called? Holy Grail of vinyl that you would like to repress?
Oh.
Do you each have like an answer?
Yeah, we have like our wish
I
list.
have a few.
Yeah. When we first started,
Things that are achievable
Doesn't matter.
or things. Okay.
yeah, things we actually can do, or things that just like probably won't happen, but we really want. I don't know.
Both, yeah.
I'd like to get Midnight Vultures by Beck. Then that deserves some repress that we'll never get.
I think on Twitter he confirmed that that's happening. So
Yeah, but he said Beck has a different deal of time than the rest of us.
Right.
I mean, that kind of a record is going to happen. He's on a major label. There's money behind it.
Yeah.
One thing that we were really close to doing that didn't pan out, which was one of my holy grails, was Horse-Drawn Wishes by Roller Skate Skinny, like a classic shoegaze noise pop album, and we were so close, but it fell apart.
Too. The crystallized record. We nearly got crystallized by Tokyo Shoegazer.
We got Coal Tar the Deepers instead, which was awesome.
Coal Tar the Deepers was like the thing we got instead. So
I don't know these bands.
Someone,
crazy.
Someone just mentioned Jonathan Colton. We tried to get Jonathan Colton, but the people he actually presses his vinyl with got him like a Grammy nomination. So I don't know why he would go with us over them.
No, of course not. No, like Jonathan Colton is one of the main ones that I would love to do.
Have you guys
talked to him? So long. We attempted, but I think we've been turned down.
I mean, I specifically for Needlejuice, I talked to his manager Scarface,
okay.
And then not Needlejuice related, just as a fan, I've talked to him in person at his shows.
We tried to press. We actually emailed Weird Al's manager about the Placebo EP, which is a thing that he made before his first album, which is these like really lo-fi kind of band recordings of three of the songs plus the Dr. Demento recording, but another one, Rise of the Boss. And that was a little EP that came out before his first album, and it goes for a lot on Discogs. I think it's like $300-$400 on there. So obviously there's demand for it to be reissued, but we tried and they politely declined. Another kind of funny story is the State Songs thing, Austin, if you want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. So attempting to get a Holy Grail that we never thought we would, I emailed through some sort of channel. I tried to get in contact with John Linnell to repress State Songs, which it was coming up on its 20th anniversary when I did this. And through some sort of discussion with them, they ended up like realizing this was the case and doing it themselves. And they admitted that it probably wouldn't have happened had I not got in contact. So. And they used the color scheme for the vinyl that we concocted in our attempts just to pitch it to them. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my aside from like doing pressing Logan Whitehurst. That's like my proudest moment with this.
Well, at least they might be giants sent us free copies.
That's true. Yeah, we got free copies of State Songs.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else we should talk about or touch on that you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's like going to be questions from people in the chat or whatever. Or...
There were. I tried to cover a lot of it. Some of them are.
Catch y'all at McKay's in Nashville. Hey, sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I find these more often.
I think we covered most of the important questions. People ask silly questions. Like how someone asked, how cool are ducks?
Oh no, he they.
Okay.
I wrote down some questions too, because I don't know. I'm illiterate.
About Nuclear Bubble Wrap. Nuclear Bubble Wrap is my band. We have a new album called Problematic. Problem Addict, 2 words.
The vinyl is shipping with Marvin's Wave 2. In fact, it's what Marvin's Wave 2 is waiting on right now.
People are already getting it, so that's, again.
Cool. Someone asked about Nuclear Bubble Wrap. Okay, I think we're good. I think no more pressing issues. But stop bothering these guys about vinyl. They're on it. If you ordered one, you will get it.
Yeah, you will get it. I assure you.
And if you email us about the Tally Hall vinyl, I will send you the same copy and pasted message I have sent to dozens of people.
Yes. There you go. Thank you for being on top of it. I cannot look at emails right now. I really.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and appreciate all the work and time you put into this project and all the music you released. It's super cool to have passionate people behind music projects.
Yeah,
you don't get it enough.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for letting us work with you, because working on Tally Hall has been so much fun. Coming on the show has been so much fun, actually. I had a blast doing this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
This
that's
has been great.
really,
That's the
really
goal.
fun.
Cool. Well, be in touch. I'll come by sometime to pick up some vinyl. I'm excited to see it in person. And yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hey, that's great. And you'll be able to see a variant that hasn't gone up yet. There's a Newberry Comics variant.
Cool. Do they have, so right now you can order on your website. It's, I think, sold out on Bull Moose.
Yes.
I looked the other day.
There is going to be a version coming up on Newberry Comics whenever they decide to put it up. But it's
Cool.
It's a Banana Man variant.
Nice. So look out for that as well. Cool. Well, thank you guys, and signing off.
Yeah.
And the rest
See ya.
See ya. I
Bye.
might take next week off, but we'll be back. Cool. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Later.